once it connects, it will then look at the configuration of this thing, download everything it's hearing, in other words, all the nodes it sees, and I can pass this around, but you'll notice that those are the nodes that it's seeing. And if I click on one of those nodes, I can see what it's doing also. I can connect these things either Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, or serial connection. So that means it's pretty versatile. This is a solar node. So right here is how I connect to it via USB, and that's how it charges the battery. If there's no sun to charge it. That works very well. And all this is open source, so anybody can, if you get a wild hair somewhere and you want to do some work and maybe help people out with this kind of stuff, with programming.
So you take that down to a tall tower, and that would be your router.
If that's what I wanted to do, yeah. But right now, OCAPA has been given a Meshtastic node from Stephen Hazelwood that we're going to put on top of the tower at Newcastle. So we're going to probably going to make that a router, but it's going to be pretty slick. Okay, what's a mesh network? Think of all these nodes at different locations within Oklahoma City. And they're all connected together. As soon as they come up, they listen for routers or clients or pretty much anything that's able to receive information. And they will form a mesh network. So he's connected, let's say this is the router, he's connected to this guy, and maybe this guy. This guy hears this guy, this guy hears that guy. So they're going to connect. They're going to create this mesh network. And it's kind of like Arden. Now the only difference between Arden is Arden, if you, for instance, if I have an Arden node at my house and I'm connected to, let's say, the backbone up at Sandridge, and my node goes out, the network will heal itself. It will find another route to get to Sandridge without me. This doesn't do that, or not that well. What this does, though, is because it's a mesh network, who cares whether you lose this guy? Because we're not sending any important traffic to him. This is just something, it's not like Arden. Arden was designed for emergency communications. Okay, Arden was designed as an EM product. It's an off-grid network by its own. So is this. Arden has the capability of transmitting 1 watt, 5 watts. Because you're a ham, you can use higher power. Matter of fact, if you were so inclined, and you have a nice big 30-foot dish, you could put 500, 600, 700 watts into it if you wanted to. Doesn't make any sense because it's pretty good at just 5 watts as it is. Meshtastic though, about 30 dBm, which is about what? Maybe less than a watt. Probably in the milliwatts somewhere. And This one, you can go up to a whopping 35 dBm, which is a little bit more than a watt, maybe two. But, so you're not talking about a long distance. Now this 331 kilometers that they did, they were probably up on, 25,000 foot mountaintops talking to each other. But, California, an example would be California's mountaintop Arden stuff. They can talk mountaintop to mountaintop, and they've got stuff from the bottom from Southern California, and they go up across those mountains, and they've talked all the way to guys in Washington State. Okay, us in Oklahoma, Arden, we don't have that luxury, because right now we've only got radios up at 293 foot level on Sandersville. So we're limited with what we can do.
So what is your range?
Do what?
What is your range?
For this stuff or Arden?
Arden?
Arden, we can probably go 20 miles. You're not going to get 20 miles out of these, I guarantee you that. But those folks that have solar nodes that put them on top of their towers are going to get a whole lot further out than me, because all I've got right now is these things sitting in my radio room. So I don't have a whole lot of oomph to get out there. So I have to make do with what I got. This node is going out in my backyard up at about 20 feet. Am I going to get a little further out? Yeah, probably. And because it's solar powered, the battery should stay charged most days.
So I'm looking at the map here and I'm seeing a 5 kD whiz block solar. Is that
That's him.
that unit that I'm seeing?
And you're looking at meshmap. Meshmap.net.
Yep.
Okay. I was going to bring that up in a second so you can see it.
It's also showing one in Tinker
Yes,
with your call on.
there is a guy out thinking. This is a typical mesh network. And what it shows is you have cell phones that are attached Bluetooth to the device. Now, do you need a cell phone attached to the device for it to work? Nope. All these are working. He is seeing, which one are you seeing? This one.
Yeah, whiz block solar is what I'm
He's
seeing.
seeing my Wisblock solar. That's what this is called. So he's seeing this. And he might be seeing some other ones too, but I can tell you this, mesh map doesn't work wonderfully well. So getting back to this, so here we have these two nodes. We have this node. This shows a laptop that's connected, and you can connect with serial, wireless, and Bluetooth. And the only reason you would really connect that way is so that you can configure the node. Now, what can you do configuring the node? You can do everything with it. You can change the call sign on it. You can change the name of it. You can change the configuration. Whatever you want to do. All through the client Meshtastic on. Where's my it likes Android better than it does iOS. iOS, because of Apple's stupid thing about wanting to vet all the software that gets written for Apple, it doesn't like some of the stuff that Meshtastic does. Android, on the other hand, has far more capabilities than the iOS app. So, that's why I have an Android device. So, all it's really showing you is that this guy connects to this guy connects to these two, and this one, and then this guy connects here, so we got a mesh going on. Now, as far as mesh is concerned, are we so worried about it with Meshtastic? Well, not really, because quite frankly, I can sit at the house, and if Lucian has one, and I can send Lucian a message that says, "Hey, how you doing today, Lucian?" And maybe an hour later, he notices that he has a message from me, and then he sends me back and says, "Fine." Now, what if I had telemetry going, and I had a weather doing temperature and humidity? Who would care about that? Maybe the weather stations, the news stations, but are any one of you going to care whether or not it's 75% humidity and 86 degrees at my house? Probably not. So, what other telemetry?